Why do we look so white? I knew that was coming.
Had to turn the lights up in here.
You already know.
I knew that was coming. What is going on, everyone? Happy Friday, and welcome back to Sin City Crypto Live. My name is David. I'll be one of your co-hosts today. And today, like every day, we're coming at you live from our studio here in the heart of Las Vegas, Nevada, with our daily, only on the weekdays, live shows. Before we get into the content, quick disclaimer, nothing that's said on this channel should be taken as financial advice, so please, as always, do your own research. Now I'd like to move on and introduce you to your second out of three co-hosts for the day. Big Rob, what's up?
Hola! It's your boy, Big Rob, back in the house. Welcome to Sin City Crypto. If it's your first time checking us out, we are an entertainment-focused cryptocurrency channel where we take the old, the boring, the stale information, and we package it up in a fun and sexy way. Also, here at Sin City Crypto, we don't just do live streams. We also film on location at conventions, particularly one this afternoon at the Litecoin Summit. We also do crypto street interviews.
Wow.
Is it going to be up today? It'll be up today. So, guys, make sure you have your notification bell checked so that way you don't miss our street interviews, which will be uploading later this afternoon. And then also we do YouTube Shorts, active on social media, and we do deep dives into different projects as well. And we also, one last thing, like to bring guests into our studio. David?
We do? Mm-hmm. Is it time? And now I'd like to introduce you to your third co-host of the day, the crypto OG himself, one of our favorite people in YouTube, in the crypto space. Crypto Blood is joining us in studio. Crypto Blood, say what's up.
Hey, what's up, people?
My man. First of all,
let me put my Johnny Cage glasses on real quick. This is my version of Johnny Cage right here, baby.
Dang.
Johnny Cage. I don't know. Did you like? I wasn't really a Johnny Cage fan. Did you like Johnny Cage? I liked Sub-Zero. I liked Liu Kang was pretty dope.
Liu Kang. I like Liu Kang.
Dude, you gotta go with Scorpio, bro. Like, get over here. That was my boy. That was my boy, man. I tell you, man, when I first saw the finishing move, here's the thing, man. My brother, he's older than me, so when I was growing up, all of a sudden I like crept into my dad's room, and my brother's over here, and he's over here playing a video game in my dad's room. I'm like, hold on, why this set up over here? And he's all like, come here, check this out. I'm like, what you got?
Get over here.
And he was all like, this game called Mortal Kombat. Dad don't want you to see it. And next thing you know, you see Scorpion rip somebody's head out and his spine hanging. He put the blood coat in. It was, bro, I was changed for life right there from that moment forward.
So did you say
that was literally me going from adolescence to straight puberty GMAC pimping mode right there.
I hear that, man.
There's nothing pimp about you. So so you just got in yesterday.
Yeah.
Blood. How's Vegas treating you so far? You winning any money at the tables?
Have not touched the tables.
My man.
The devil is a liar.
The devil's
The devil is a liar. No, I was out here maybe 6 months ago with a buddy of mine, and we call it the Wheel of Fortune. We were on the roulette, not Russian roulette.
Oh, that's
we were on the roulette wheel.
a little scary.
And I lost a little bit more than I
high
should
stakes
have.
game there.
Yeah,
that
Russian
one,
roulette,
yeah.
boy. I played it no times.
Those
Zero.
are no good. Awesome, man. Well,
So, yeah, I stay away from the wheels.
you know, my dad used to always tell me the casinos were not built on winners.
No,
So don't
the
be one of
house
the
always
losers.
wins.
House always wins.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We also have Forrest joining us here in about 5 minutes. Today's going to be a packed show. Robin, before we get into the content, you know what time it is.
Let's get into this real quick. And then roll call. All right. So first up in the chat today, we got was it Crit Cats? Round of applause for Crit Cats. Also, we got Brokey Yoshi up in here. Robert Salazar, Liquidated Shorts, Fino, Davis True Love, Crypto Muscle, Big Chili Willie, Sean, Algosaurus, We have Vegas Free Brawler, Strictly Sports, K Factor, Sean C, Marky Mark, Atomic Atom, and then Servando, Crypto 420, West, and then we got Luis. Who else we got up in here? Why You Loud Gang, Shizzy, and then Biomex 151 Crypto. And I saw some new people up in here as well. And then we got Crypto Billionaire, Wild Crypto. Hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto. And then we also got Big Chili Willie dropping a 5-piece super chat right off the rip.
Okay, Willie.
There we go. We see you, bro.
Big Chili Willie.
My man.
Big Chili Willie.
Yeah, that's right.
Don't ask us how we got to
Allosaurus.
that name, but
Yeah. I don't even know how we got to that, but Big Chili Willie.
that was on you.
That was on me. And
That
then
was
Chasing Candles is back up in here. He says, yo.
Chasing candles.
There you go.
Don't go chasing candles.
So packed show today. And then a lot of buzz going on. We also we had David on Around the Blockchain yesterday. Which if you watched Around the Blockchain, David did win. Congratulations, David.
Gracias.
There you go. But also, we were over here doing handshakes and business deals on air yesterday on Around the Blockchain. So if you missed that episode, Ben said he was coming to Las Vegas to do the show, to do his show here in Sin City Crypto Studio. So Ben's show will be live here from Las Vegas Monday and Tuesday.
Nice.
So we'll be helping him with this setup, and we'll probably have a little camera time as well. So little duo cameo show there. So we're excited about that. Also, Ben has been front and center on Twitter and going viral. Did you see the endless stream of tweets regarding this?
Yeah, he's Ben's trending everywhere on Twitter.
Yeah, I'm like the Geico. I'm under the rock. I didn't know. I didn't know.
You were traveling, bro.
I was traveling, so
Yeah,
please forgive me, guys.
Don't worry.
When you're at the
We got you, bro.
airport, last thing you want
That's
to
a
do
4-hour flight from the D, baby.
Yeah,
That's,
you know, last thing you want to
exhausting.
do is be over here working social media when you're traveling, you know.
I did
Hey,
have internet though. I
planes
was
do have-
trading while traveling.
Planes have Wi-Fi.
That's
Okay,
what I was
fair
doing.
enough. Fair enough. Planes have Wi-Fi. All right.
Yes. Yes.
So let's go ahead and bring on Forrest, and then we will talk about what happened. So, Rocco. Forrest,
What's up, guys?
what's going on, brother? How you doing?
Good, good. Crypto Blood, it's nice to meet you. I don't think we've met.
Nice to meet you too, bro.
So, just in case you didn't know, Forrest was the former head of research at Token Metrics. He now runs
okay.
he now runs a Cryptostackers Pro YouTube channel. Also, he has a platform for trading as well. And Crypto Blood, people say OG in the space. What's your definition of OG? I mean, are we talking like 2016, 2017? I know you've been in the game for a while,
Yeah.
right? 2012?
13.
2013. Okay.
OG.
Dang.
I would say OG is like 15.
15 years?
No,
2015, okay.
Yeah, 2015.
All right.
Triple OG or double OG would have to be like 12, 11.
So what about
You know?
quadruple? That's Satoshi?
That's the
Only
Satoshi, baby.
Satoshi's
Only
a
one.
quadruple.
Only one
There can
quadruple.
only be one. Well, we appreciate you both being on the show. All right, we're just gonna start this thing off. Forrest, did you catch Ben Armstrong's live stream yesterday?
I caught the Twitter highlights.
There you go.
The
Well,
yelling.
we're gonna show the Twitter highlights, and then I want to discuss kind of what he brought up and kind of get your guys' take on it. So I'm gonna swap over to my laptop here. So this is just a clip of so just to give it some kind of context. Okay, so Sam Bankman-Fried's been trying to champion this new CFTC bill, a new version. A lot of people have a lot of gripe with it because it's looking to sanction certain wallets and only allow certain people to buy certain tokens. And they're saying he's trying to kill crypto. On the other hand, Ben is championing another crypto bill that's supposed to be more regulatory friendly for the crypto user, kind of keep the ethos of crypto intact, what it was set out to be in the first place. So there's a lot of buzz about that. And so this guy here tweeted, Ryan Sean Adams, which I believe he's from the Bankless podcast. And so this is just a minute long. Yeah.
But I want this guy right here, Ryan Sean Adams. I don't know who the F you are because you're not important, But here he
Play
says,
piano.
please, dear Lord, and any lawmakers or adults reading this tweet, just know BitBoy doesn't represent us either. Talk to Jay Stravinsky. Talk to Miller CWL. Talk to Coin Center. You know what? We are tired of people that look like this guy trying to run stuff. I don't represent the people. The fuck I don't. I'm the one who does. It's me. I'm the one out here putting the work in behind the scenes trying to save crypto while these devils, Sam Bankman-Fried, Brian Armstrong, they're trying to permanently ruin it. This is not about money for me. I hope you guys understand this. I am here fighting for you. This guy with these freaking glasses on, this douchebag, is out here trying to tell you that only the suits know what to do. Only the suits. Only the people who have all the money. They're the ones who can determine what happens. No, our bill is for the people. And you're going to find this out. We've got the funding for it, and it's coming out.
So, all right.
He just loved, man, you know what? He loves crypto to the core. And dude just passionate.
I'm gonna.
And I mean, he's got a short fuse.
When
so.
Ben's here, I want to ask him what do you got against guys with glasses? 'Cause he
I
specifically
was
said
gonna
glasses.
say. I was gonna say that too.
I wear glasses, so I'm a little hurt by that.
Yeah,
That was a sturdy mic.
That was.
Yeah, that thing was. it was hanging in there.
Yeah.
It was not budging at all.
So, Robin, I know, and we're going to tie all this in together. I know Robin read the new version of the CFTC bill, top to bottom. Do you mind giving
that one is not the one proposed by
SBF?
I don't believe so. Maybe it is.
I think it was.
Was it? Okay. Well,
either
way, we went into detail. If you guys missed it yesterday, we had about a 30-minute breakdown of the new CFTC bill. It does provide a lot of clarity in what a lot of definitions are, particularly broker, exchanges kind of can register with the CFTC and what that looks like. And so there's that. But I don't know, man. I feel like we've talked about, before any of this came out, we've always talked about, I'm like, yo, Sam Bankman-Fried, he's a businessman first. And you know what? Devil? He's a businessman that happens to run an exchange in the crypto space. And that's my own personal perspective. Now, with that said, that's no different than other professions. I mean, you can have a station and not be so pro gas and all of a sudden you sell propane accessories everywhere because and you use nothing but that at home. But what I'm saying is that you don't have to go all in with whatever business you're in. And my personal thought is that he's not. A lot of people's narrative is that Sam Bankman-Fried is here for the crypto community and the people. I think the man's just trying to run a successful business as profitable as possible, and he's trying to partner up with a lot of agencies and government branches to be as successful as possible. And so,
I would rather the CFTC regulate Bitcoin than SCC.
Oh yeah,
I think we're
if
all.
I had to pick my poison.
I mean, I know I'm on the same page. I know Rob is. What about you, Forrest? Are you kind of on that same? Would you rather see the CFTC regulate, the Bitcoin spot markets?
Yeah, I mean that's fine. I'm not a big fan of the SEC. I think pick your poison is the way to put it.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough. Now, to follow up what Robin said, okay, so we covered this yesterday, and I'll briefly go over it. But Sam Bankman-Fried is getting a lot of heat. He's been likened to the names thrown around are Pablo Escobar. So he's been warned that Sam Bankman-Fried has been warned that he risks eliminating the U.S. from the crypto race should a new set of standards proposed by the FTX chief be adopted. He outlines his desire to block sanctioned addresses, proposes a protocol that would give hackers a cut of stolen crypto, so as long as the assets are returned, and lays out a three-step process that FTX will use to decide whether or not to list a crypto as a security. And it also suggests a suitability test that would restrict customer access to crypto assets based on varying factors, such as their net worth. I'll ask you first, CB. Are you kind of on Ben's side? Do you think Sam Bankman-Fried is out to hurt crypto? I mean, and remember, this is a space where he operates in. So, what are your thoughts? Do you trust this guy? Is this being blown out of proportion, or is this guy really out to hurt the crypto space?
Yeah, this is horrible. I'm with Ben for sure. Isn't FTX being investigated by the SEC?
By the Texas SEC.
Oh, the
state,
Texas.
Not
okay.
even the. Not even
It's not
the,
even. It's not federal, right?
Well, we had Rice on yesterday, and he brought up a good point that Sam Bankman-Fried was a second largest contributing to the Democratic Party during the last presidential election. So Gary Gensler appointed by Mr. Joe Biden, and so. Are you surprised that the federal SEC is not going after Sam Bankman-Fried, but yet the states are, which these people are not put into their position by the president?
Yeah. No, this is bad for sure. I'm for no regulation, but over the years I've come to realize that we can't have that. That's just wishful thinking. So we have to have regulation. It's going to come. Anytime you have a market where people are making money hand over fist, the governments want to come in, and it's called regulation, but it's really tax. Tax it, right? So with regulation comes more taxes, and basically they rent seek and extract more wealth from the community. So if I had to pick again, CFTC would be the route. I used to deal with the CFTC and FINRA back in the day when I had my CTA. So I kind of understand their perspective, and I think that Bitcoin definitely falls in that space. It's not a security, bro.
Bitcoin is definitely not a security.
And they also listed that in the it was one of the few things that was listed as far as names of tokens was that Bitcoin and Ethereum are examples of commodities in the bill. So
what are your thoughts, Forrest? Are you in this camp of Sam Bankman-Fried's kind of got his own agenda? He's looking to destroy crypto. Do you kind of fall on either side of this whole situation?
I don't know if he's looking to destroy crypto. I think he's trying to be as profitable as possible, and I definitely don't think he has any problem with hurting people in the process. His investment fund or VC fund, Alameda Research, is, I mean, you could say, I would say they're guilty of pump and dumps, just in a roundabout way. So what they did in the last bull market was extremely predatory, in my opinion. They went around and they invested in a lot of these blockchain projects, put their name on it, but then they structured the tokenomics in a way where you had the super low float or very low circulating supply. And a high maximum supply. And in a bull market environment, which is very speculative, and they're well aware of this, when you have that low circulating supply and a very low liquidity, that's going to pump the price of the token up significantly. And then they can just turn around and dump the coins that they got at a super high profit margin. They're essentially were running like legal pump and dump schemes in a bull market. Again, were they pump and dumping it literally? No, they weren't running a pump and dump group, but they were well aware of what they were doing, and that's extremely predatory. I'm pro privacy. I'm anti-regulation in general. I do understand that there's going to have to be some precedent set. The one thing that caught my eye there, and I haven't dived into the bill, but I do think that some precedent for hacking, and whether that's a compromise or not, that's a piece of regulation that I wouldn't mind being set. And I don't know if the way that they're going about it and what they're proposing is the right answer. But a certain amount of amnesty for hackers that return like 99% of the funds, or I don't know what that percentage, that agreed upon percentage would be, but it would basically shield hackers from going to prison if they return the vast majority of the funds, but it would still incentivize hackers to come in and exploit bugs, and which essentially makes crypto more durable in the long run, right? We want, there's hackers are bad, but they also cause security measures to be increased, I do think there's a compromise there, and I do think that could come through regulation. Again, not saying that's exactly the solution I'm in support of, but I do think that there's absolutely something there regarding the hacking.
And we know regulation's coming, right? So we can just cross our fingers and hope that it's regulation that makes sense. Well, where do you land on this, Rob? Are you on the whole Sam Bankman-Fried's out to ruin crypto, or you kind of think it's maybe a little overblown?
Kind of the same, I guess maybe the same narrative that's been bouncing around here between us is that it's business first. And you know what? If it's more advantageous for him to push a certain narrative that's more profitable for his business, that's the direction he's going to go. When it comes to venture capital, you know, he has no shortage of investing in young projects. And yeah, I don't know. I feel like they just got out of a lot of these projects at the right time. They very skilled at playing the whale games. And every time I'm researching a token, it's like Alameda Research is behind a lot of projects, and then or you hear Sam Bankman's Freed is personally invested, or FTX is. It's just their hands are in everything, and I just don't get that same vibe from Binance and Coinbase. Really don't. And I don't know. I mean, Binance, it's like Binance does as much as they can for the crypto spaces. And then even then, they tailored a certain product just for the US. So you got Binance.us, which is to accommodate US regulation. Instead of trying to change the regulation so you can run business, they're like, okay, cool. You got your regulation here. We're going to set up our Binance like we have always have. And then, you know what? You got particular rules there in the U.S. Instead of trying to lobby and change them in my benefit, I'll just, you know, tailor a product just for said clientele. And the same thing with, you know, kind of the same vibe with Coinbase. But I feel like there's more transparency there as well on Coinbase. I don't know. I think 2 years from now, 3 years from now, a lot of this curtain is going to get pulled back, and we're going to know a lot behind the scenes. Maybe there'll be a good documentary out on this in the future. Maybe the rise and fall of FTX, or maybe how FTX got to be the big bully on the block, or something. I don't know. I think more news is to come. But I think right now we're just kind of living in the moment, and we only have so much information in front of us.
These guys are going to get too big, and you're going to see a Bell telecommunication situation where they get broken up. You know,
I can see that.
I can see that happening at some point. They're just getting too big, especially FTX and Alameda, not really Alameda, but FTX and his conglomerates. It's getting out of hand, in my opinion.
For me, I would
already.
When it comes to billionaires and it involves money, I would not trust them regardless of who they are. All right. Before we get into the charts, Forrest, I want to share some news. So the man, Sleepy Joe, he's going to release another 15 million barrels of oil. So they're releasing 1 million barrels a day and then tack on another 15, right? I mean, we stopped counting. It's a source from CNBC. The move aims to extend the current Strategic Petroleum Reserve Delivery Program through December. The White House release is intended to offset some of the expected volatility in the oil market stemming from the implementation of the EU embargo that will go into effect December 5th. So far this year, the White House has released about 165 million barrels of crude oil from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. Now, I want to swap over, and I want to show you. What's the lady's name? Corinne Jean-Jean, the White House press secretary?
The press secretary?
Yeah, so she was asked about the whole oil situation, right? And this was her response. So let's go ahead and take a gander here.
Okay. Thank you, Kareem. So you're asking oil companies to further lower gas prices. What makes you think that they are going to listen to an administration that is ultimately trying to put them out of business?
How is the administration trying to put them out of business?
Well, they produce fossil fuels, and this president says he wants to end fossil fuel.
Thanks, everybody.
Oh, dang. Drop the mic. Turn off the mic. Turn off the mic.
You're asking oil companies to further.
So here, let me pause this sucker here. So I know they're kind of two different things, right? They're talking about.
Now this is who Ben should have been going off on.
Yeah.
I can't believe you, Joe Biden. What the hell are you doing? This is the devil.
He is the devil.
Yeah.
So I want to ask Forrest first. What kind of impact? And I don't know if you have any oil charts pulled up, but what kind of impact is this 15 million barrels going to do? obviously was supposed to end of this month,
It's just, you know, what's funny is
which coincided with the midterms, but they're extending it to December 5th.
Yeah, right.
So is this going to be better long term, worse long term, better short term? Like, well, what's kind of your synopsis for us? And if you have a chart you want to show, please feel free.
Sure, I can bring up some charts here. Yeah, so this isn't the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. This is the Midterm Petroleum Reserve. This is very clearly posturing for midterms here, trying to get oil prices down. You guys know I am hedged into oil ETFs. Very boring. It's not an investment that I'm excited about. I just think that the potential black swan is what happens when oil prices start rising again, because we're not doing. We don't have a government right now that is, or an administration that is very friendly towards oil, as we've just kind of seen in the that video. Oil prices have been coming down drastically all year long, or not all year long, since summer, and that's been coinciding with the Strategic Petroleum Reserve draining. Now, this drop off, which is the largest drawdown that we've ever seen in the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, this drawdown only goes through June. Okay, so like let's look at oil prices in June, right? They peaked in June, and they've continued to drop down. We've been draining the Strategic Petroleum Reserve far more than what we're seeing right now, another 15 million barrels. We've got 468 million barrels as of June, right? So we've seen another quarter of draining this. I don't know how deep this is going to go. I don't know what's left. I haven't looked that up, but it's not. This, in my opinion, could go down as one of the largest strategic blunders in the entire world, in the entire history of the country, if we end up in a war in the next several years and find ourselves without oil.
That's scary, dude.
This is bad.
This
really
is
bad.
super scary.
Yeah,
So
especially
that's I mean. Oh, go ahead.
We're giving OPEC Plus the leverage now. Like they have all the leverage.
Yeah.
So we're draining our oil, right? And they expect us to, or we expect them to keep prices low.
And produce more, but they would actually cut back.
Do you think when they go to buy back oil or replenish, do you and they also cut that excess supply that they're injecting to the system now, do you think that it'll correlate to the chart in an equal move in the opposite direction?
No, OPEC Plus is going to screw us. So they're already shrinking supply. So in anticipation for us to have to buy back, you know, and replenish that reserve. So it's a bad move. It is the worst. It will go down as the worst.
And then for if you were to just kind of estimate on your own personal, like, you know, both what you know physically from when they started releasing the oil from the from the U.S. supply and what we see in the charts, do you think that the opposite happens with the price? I mean, or what do you think the price impact will be when we finally put the brakes on that?
Yeah. So essentially, this is why I have no desire in investing in oil. It's not exciting to me. Like, crypto is what I want to be invested in. But my black swan thesis is that oil prices skyrocket, because what happens when we can't draw from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve anymore? What happens when supply gets cut? Right, and we're already draining the supply. Simple supply and demand. The supply goes down. Right now, we're temporarily, artificially flooding the supply, which is suppressing price artificially. We cannot do that forever. OPEC reducing supply, quote unquote, based on inflationary. We're going into a lower demand environment because of inflationary pressures and Fed rate hikes and stuff. They're justified in doing that, but it's also in their best interest to do that, to protect against a scenario where we do see demand drop in a nasty recession. And they got screwed in COVID. They've lost a lot of money. People talk about how much money they've made since COVID. They forget to mention the fact that I think it was like $2 billion, the oil, don't quote me on that number, $2 billion or so that the oil industry actually lost in 2020 because the demand dropped so fast. Demand came back before supply could come back, right? We stopped a lot of oil production. A lot of wells had to shut down and went out of business because of the lack of the demand. Now we're pulling back artificially, I think we are in a secular oil bull market in the sense that, not in production, in the sense of our production and our supply is going down faster than the demand, right? We're not going to just curb demand and switch off of fossil fuels overnight. These things take time. I believe the estimates are like, by 2050, we could maybe move from, I think, 16% to 40% renewable energies, and that's by 2050. That's in the next like 28 years. It takes a really long time to reduce the demand for fossil fuels. So yeah, I think we're headed towards new all-time highs. There's a very likely scenario where that happens. Otherwise, if the administration changes in 2 years, but that 2 years is a lot of time before a more oil fossil fuel friendly administration can come in. So yeah, I do think that this is the big risk. And the problem with this is that if we see all-time highs in oil, this is my black swan thesis. We've got the Fed hiking rates, fighting inflation. We've seen that the part of CPI that has gone down recently is heavily related to energy and goods, and shipping and freight costs have started to roll over. What's propping up CPI right now is other stuff like shelter, right? But what happens when next year we've fought inflation, we've brought it back down, the Fed pivots, we move back to quantitative easing, or at least we've cut out the quantitative tightening, reduce the quantitative tightening, and then inflation comes back and rears its ugly head, but this time it's because of an energy crisis. What happens when Russia realizes that, and they've already realized this, what happens when Russia decides to further weaponize the energy that they control? We go into a world war scenario, and oil prices can absolutely skyrocket, and that's why I'm hedged in oil prices. It's not because I love oil. It's not because that's what that's what gets me excited in the morning. It's just because that's what I think is, if we just look at the supply and demand, we would expect oil to make all-time highs. I can't even begin to predict what levels we're going to see, but I just don't see a scenario where oil prices stay low and stick low. Now, if they do stay low and stick low, then the overall economy is probably going to be fine, and we're going to see risk assets trade at better levels, and that's going to offset some risk for the rest of the portfolio. So I hope that makes sense. I wish I could give you an estimate, but I do think all-time highs are in order. If we normalize this for money supply, you'll actually see that, which I'm not going to do, but you'll actually see that oil, even when it was this high and peaking, it was nowhere close to some of the peaks that we've seen before in terms of money supply. So oil could absolutely go 30, 40, 50% higher and not even be considered that expensive in relation to what the prices we've seen in the past.
And I love what you're doing as far as hedging against the rest of your portfolio, whether it's stocks or crypto. It's not something you hear a lot of people talk about. Hey, I'm stocking up on oil ETFs or oil stocks because I'm hedging. But it makes sense. And when you break it down, especially with the charts, so definitely something good. All right, Forrest, I'm not sure what charts you got planned for, but we did talk about Chainlink on Monday. You went through their new upgrades, their tokenomics, the staking. Before I ask you, Forrest, though, to kind of go over what you talked about, Blood, what are your thoughts on Chainlink? My position is it is one of the safest projects to have your money in, especially during a bear market. It is literally the backbone of every single smart contract ecosystem.
For sure.
And that's kind of where I'm at. They're the gold standard.
Didn't they just sink a deal with a bank or something?
Chainlink?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Swift. Swift.
Swift. Okay, yes.
That's huge.
The big bank.
Yeah,
That's huge.
The bank.
Yeah, that's
The bank.
the
Right.
big bank right
The
there.
big bank. No, yeah, that's I agree with you, Dave.
You
Definitely.
bullish on Chainlink?
Yeah, for sure,
Okay.
for sure. That's one coin that has a lot of utility, and like you said, it's the backbone of blockchain in essence.
My only thing that I'm hesitant when it comes to Chainlink is that I feel like it's more or less for the institutions, and so it does kind of fit in the retail's utility box.
They are coming out with some utility for retail, the Verify. So they're essentially going to allow you anytime you want to, like, for example, you want to invest in USDT, but you want to see, hey, right now I want to see where the reserves are.
Yeah.
So you can essentially query data from Chainlink as a retail investor, and it'll show you all their attestation up to date.
And the company doesn't have to be, in use by all the retail, all individuals. I mean, you can look at, any kind of company model like Cisco Systems, for example, which is a networking system, a giant company. Nobody realistically uses Cisco Systems on a house-to-house level. But
it's more B2B. Yeah, it's more B2B.
Yeah, so you can look at that. You don't have to be used by every household to be profitable and a behemoth in finance. But I'm just kind of throwing it out there when you compare it to other chains that have the utility plus the institutional
they're staking
integration.
Now too. So which is something Forrest went over. Now, based off of the video you did for us on Monday, which thank you, by the way. Has anything changed? What are the charts saying? And I'll kind of leave it general and kind of send it to you, Forrest.
Yeah, let's go to the charts over here. Okay, so we'll go through this. We're going like into the Matrix here, Inception. So just kind of like a recap on so first of all, nothing really has changed in Chainlink in this week. I mean, we dipped a little bit. I think we've come back a little bit, but the big catalyst for Chainlink is staking, right? So like imagine you have a stock, right, that does not pay a dividend, and then all of a sudden they start paying dividends and it becomes a dividend stock, and there's an income stream attached to owning that stock. Now, I don't know exactly what the staking rewards are going to be. I don't know that anybody does. I can do a little bit more research and see if there is. I don't think that that's come out yet. And it's also going to be heavily dependent on the scale program and the program. So the scale program is where layer ones like Avalanche, Metis, Moonbeam, and Moonriver and other layer ones, they actually help cover the cost of Chainlink oracles and using the Chainlink, like integrating Chainlink into some of the smaller projects that are building on Avalanche. So if you're a DApp that's building on Avalanche, Avalanche will come in now and pay for you to be able to integrate Chainlink. By the way, my brother works at Chainlink, full disclosure, so the family, my family has a lot of exposure to Chainlink. Let's just say that.
Chain gang.
Yeah, the chain gang. He's like they have a monopoly. They have a monopoly on the oracles, on the decentralized oracle space. There's other competitors, but they're the gold standard. They have a monopoly on this space, and if the space continues to grow, they're going to absorb a lot of value. Right, so then you have the build program, which allows decentralized applications or new projects to come in and say, oh, hey, we can't afford Chainlink at this moment in time, right? We can't afford a Chainlink integration. Hey, Chainlink, what if we just give you 5% of our token supply to your stakers? Will you help us integrate Chainlink? So now all of these projects are going to come in and give part of their, allocate, you see the distribution breakdown of a lot of these projects. It's like 15% goes to the team, 5% goes to investors, 25% goes to community, 25% to liquidity, 5% goes to Chainlink stakers, all of a sudden, times a ton of new projects that are going to be coming out. So now you have a revenue model. Pre-revenue projects will provide 3 to 5% of their token supply to service providers like Link stakers. Now you have a revenue stream attached to Link tokens, and that's going to increase value and create additional demand. So essentially, whatever that yield is, let's say Chainlink staking starts yielding 50% APY. Well, what's going to happen is you're going to see, and we can go to the Chainlink chart here. And we don't know exactly what that APY is going to be, but let's just say it comes out and also keep in mind, right? These projects are launching, allocating some of their tokens to Chainlink stakers. What happens when one of those projects hits and does a 100x, and you're staking Chainlink, and you've been earning these tokens that end up 100xing in the next bull market, right? So there's layers to this. But what happens when Chainlink comes out and let's just say APY is like 50%? That would be super high. But just let's say it's high because you're getting a lot of tokens from smaller projects that are coming out, and it's exciting. Well, what has to happen, or what will happen, is Chainlink's price, the demand for Chainlink, will go up, right? And the price of Chainlink will go up, and this will find an equilibrium. Probably, who knows what the equilibrium would be, but for a blue chip cryptocurrency, right? Like Ethereum, you can earn between like 3 and 8% on. So somewhere in that range, 3 and 8% yield. This would just normalize and probably seek an equilibrium price that moves the Chainlink APY, staking APY, to 3 to 5%. So essentially, Chainlink has to, like, if the APY on a blue chip asset like Chainlink comes out above 3 to 8%, you're going to see the equilibrium price skyrocket to offset that, because people are going to be like, oh, I can earn 50% on Chainlink. Of course I'm going to buy it. And they're going to keep buying it, keep buying it, and keep buying it until the price of Chainlink normalizes and that APY drops to 3 to 8%, something more reasonable. So that's the underlying Chainlink thesis. Early access to staking comes out in December, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see something similar to what we saw with the Ethereum merge, where we see a little bit of a buy the rumor, sell the news event. Maybe we see a little pump for Chainlink, a little price action appreciation, and then maybe a little dump afterwards. But in the long term, for next bull market, I think Chainlink looks very attractive with the new staking feature.
Awesome. What's the rest of the crypto markets looking like? Any charts kind of stick out? Bitcoin's still holding on to that 19K, and any other kind of charts you had in mind to share? Feel free.
Sure. I mean, it's been a boring market. If we're being honest here, it's been a super boring market, and let me actually go down, I think, to the 4 hours where I've got these set. I've just been range trading personally. Ethereum, we've got our margin pressure level set off this last local low, and we've just been ranging. 1260 is the buy level. I picked some Ethereum up this morning, or kind of in the middle of the night at 1260. My order filled. We're up. We've got some resistance. I put out this thread yesterday where everyone's max bearish right now. Everyone's very, very bearish, but there's actually a really strong and strengthening case for a bottom, or at least a temporary local bottom, to be in for the S&P 500. And the thesis goes kind of like, not only is it a really good time of the year for the S&P 500, usually Q4 is the best, but also the Fed. So I'll kind of break this down. This is a really interesting chart. This shows that the S&P 500's performance, when you have a lot of bad days, a lot of or a low percentage of positive days, like normally in the S&P 500, in any given year, you're going to have more positive days than negative days. Well, in years with more negative days, which is in line with other really poor performing years, we've seen a yearly return of roughly negative 22%. The following has outsized returns on average, right? Damn. So there's only been 2 years, 1973 and 1931, where there's been where one of these really poor performing years in terms of positive days has actually shown a decrease, right, or given another poor performance. Everything else is 10, 12% plus, with some on average 12.5% return, median return 17.3%. So there's reason to believe that we could see a really good year and a really good bounce back. Yeah, there's a repeated process that happens with the S&P 500 and the system that we currently operate in. Right? What happens is, let me zoom out to the weekly. We crash, right? We crash. Something breaks. The government intervenes, and we go to new all-time highs. We crash, something breaks, the government intervenes, stimulus, we go to new all-time highs. COVID, we crash, the government intervention, we go to new all-time highs. We crash, government's starting to intervene, right? The Fed's already announcing a pivot. You've got the bond market. People don't think that this is really bad. They're like, the S&P 500 is only down 22%. It's, max drawdown for the year of 28%. It doesn't seem like that bad of a crash. People don't realize that the bond market is about to explode. Like the bond market is so bad. This is AGG. This is the aggregate bond ETF. I believe so. I'll show you a table in just a second that explains this as well. This chart is supposed to look essentially like the trend line that I've shown, right? This is supposed to have like, max drawdown over the course of 2 years in this.
When you say bond market's going to explode, do you mean like implode in a bad way or explode like up in price?
Yeah, implode in a bad way. It's about to collapse. It's really, really bad. Okay, so let me show you a chart in this, or a table in this tweet.
Yeah, like if you would have bought 30s,
because
long in bonds, you're crushed right now. You're down like 30%.
We saw what recent monetary policy was doing to the bond market in England. I mean, is that something we can expect here, and a government intervention as well? I'll let you finish.
Yes, that's exactly that. That is the case for essentially. That's a bullish case, because if that happens, the government has to intervene. So this is the long-term Treasury drawdown. Long-term U.S. Treasuries. If you're a financial advisor, like that's the only thing that you can say is a risk-free asset.
Yes. Yep.
That's the only thing. That's the only risk-free investment.
You lost 41%.
That's down 42% as of this. This chart goes through October 19th, which is 2 days ago, and they've only gone down more. This is comparing long-term U.S. Treasury drawdown, right, to the largest stock drawdowns, the largest risk asset drawdowns in history. People are like, oh, the S&P 500 is only down 22%. This thing's got to go. This thing's got to go 40 or 50% down, as ugly as things are. Like, the stock market's not where the blood is. The blood is in the bond market, and it is absolutely way risky. Right? The implications of this is so much worse than a large stock drawdown. Why? Because you have pension plans in treasuries. You have old people who have a portfolio with their financial advisor, thinking that they're going to be responsible. Oh, I'm a few years away from retirement. I'm going to be 80-20. I'm going to be 80% risk off and 20% in the stock market. And that 80% is down 41.58% right now. It's really, really bad.
That's
is not
scary,
good. The government, yes. Like the government is at the point where it has to intervene, and they're already posturing.
We're going to have our UK moment very soon.
And Forrest, just to piggyback off what you said, typically when the dollar gets stronger, right? I mean, if we just use common sense here, if we just break it down to its core, when the dollar gets stronger, right, and people's currency weakens, people are probably going to move into the dollar, especially in U.S. Treasury securities. And that's not happening. We're continuously seeing that the 2-year and the 10-year note, the yields, continue to go up, make 15-year highs. I think the 2-year is at like 4.5, and the 10 years at 4.3. Like, it just doesn't make sense. And then you have Janet Yellen coming out and saying we are having a liquidity crisis in the market. That's scary, man.
That's the part that Forrest didn't mention yet, was the liquidity. There's freezing up of I don't know what.
Like every new bond and note and bill they're introducing into the market, they have to raise interest because they're not getting enough people. And if people are not buying U.S. Treasury securities, this country will go bankrupt. It is like it's a fact.
So what's going to happen is
unless they step in and start buying bonds.
Instead of the Fed said they would.
Well, no, that's the thing. The Fed used to do that. This time around, it'll be the Treasury stepping in and buying. In my opinion,
I think they're all going to have to step in and buy. Even Joe Biden's going to have to buy some.
Well,
but go ahead, Forrest.
The reason we got this big, large bounce this morning, at least in my opinion, it was almost perfectly correlated. I don't see any other reason why we got a bounce this morning and why the S&P 500 is up on a Friday, right? Normally on a Friday, when you have the threat of nuclear war, like going into the weekend, who wants to hold risk going into the weekend? Who wants to hold a risky position going into the weekend in the S&P 500 when there's threat of nuclear war? A nuke could drop this weekend, and then the S&P 500 opens up 10 to 15% lower than what it closed out on Friday. Yet we're actually seeing a bid on Friday, right? And that's because the Fed has essentially signaled that they're going to pivot, right? Some officials have begun signaling their desire both to slow down the pace of increases soon and to stop raising rates early next year to see how their moves this year are slowing the economy. They want to reduce the risk of causing an unnecessarily sharp drawdown, aka the bond market is imploding, and this is a really big problem. And if they continue to raise rates at an aggressive rate, we have a situation where we've seen with the Bank of England. Others have said it is too soon for those discussions because high inflation is proving to be more persistent and broad. Pick your poison. Pick your poison. It's one way or the other. A little bit of inflation, which, look, I say a little bit of inflation. It is a lot of inflation. However, there are a lot of leading signals that inflation is actually rolling over. This
Really?
is U.S.
Housing.
freight rates versus goods inflation, right?
Okay.
The leading indicators just rolling over. It's dropping, like the blue line. This is China to U.S. freight rates. Goods inflation is in orange. This is going to continue to fall down in the coming months. CPI is a really, really laggard indicator. This is the Zillow rent index that is forward by 6 months.
Right.
It looks ahead by 6 months. It is rolling over. It is now negative, right? It's back to January 2021 levels, right? We are going to see inflation year over year start to drop, and if the Fed overdoes this, and they're aware of this, they're now talking about this. If they overdo this, we're in trouble. Not to mention, you guys always know, I always bring this up, that we are in the absolute best time historically in a 4-year market cycle presidential market cycle for the S&P 500 to rebound. In a midterm election year, post-midterm election, and the 6 months following a midterm election, on average, historically going back for 100 years, the S&P 500 rallies 15%. So yes, I totally understand the case for being, scared and bearish right now, but there's just so much bullish stuff happening in the background. If you look at the actual data, this is the last one. I won't bore you with all the charts here, but this is the highest level in tech put to call ratio, right? This is the tech stock put to call ratio. The puts, right? Remember, puts are options. For anyone that's listening that isn't familiar with options, puts are options that pay you if there's a crash. If there's a large spike or a lot of volatility to the downside, and you have put options, or you own put options, you make a lot of money, right? This is the highest level. Now, this means that there's the way more puts being purchased than calls, right? Meaning the majority of the market is hedging and afraid of a large drop. Well, the majority of the market is usually, we see this number peak over here at the bottom of the COVID lows, right? We see this number peak again, that the put to call ratio peak again when we start to see drawdown back here in 2019. Usually these coincide with the market tops and bottom. People get greedy at the top, right? This call ratio, the calls were way more purchased up here at this peak, right? Coming out of the COVID boom, that peak, and then it comes back. People get greedy and they want to buy calls because it's just going to continue going up. And you see that number peak. This is the highest it's ever been. So, there's a lot of reason to be bearish, to be honest, but there's a lot of reason to think that there's at least a temporary bottom coming in here in this market.
I definitely think the timing for a bear market bounce is due, and not to mention lining them right up with the midterms and government injecting oil into the economy as well. So,
Rob, why don't you kind of take just a general look at where the crypto markets are? Maybe look at some prices.
Just to see where we're at here on a Friday afternoon. We have Bitcoin at 19,100, Ethereum right at the $1,300 mark still. Some of the biggest gainers for the day, Quant up 13%, Casper as well. And then we do got some content coming up on Casper, so stay tuned for that. And then kind of on the weekly level to see who's making the biggest moves. Once again, Casper, Quant, Aave, MakerDAO, all up in the profits. Axie Infinity down. They do have some vesting coming unlocked with a lot of their founders and original investors. So perhaps a price dump on the market there on that. Helium also down as well. Crypto Fear and Greed Index coming in at 23, right on par where we've been all week. And as we mentioned, or Forrest mentioned, stock markets are in the green today. NASDAQ almost up a full 2%. We did have started off the week in the red, so a little bounce back there. Some of the narrative that's floating around, which I think is more of a CNBC narrative, is that stocks rally Friday as trader hopes that Fed rate hikes will soon slow down. From my understanding, the Fed rate hike is still expected to come in at 0.75 next meeting, which will be on November 2nd, about 10 days from now. And then I
think they're going to have
probably, I'd say at minimum, a 50 basis point to follow before the end of the year. And then, but I think realistically, my personal thoughts would be 0.75, and then dramatically slow down after that. So
I don't think we'll see any rate hikes in January or the first quarter of next year. Blood, what are your so Quant's been on a tear, right? Have you been following the price action on Quant or anything going on?
I'm a quant trader, but I don't follow Quant, the token. I do not. I heard you guys talking about it on yesterday's show, man. Tell me a little bit more about it.
Well, the big narrative behind Quant is CBDC, right? They're essentially a layer zero. They're the chain of all chains. So they're a software as a service, not necessarily a blockchain. And their founder has got a lot of connections and ties to governments. The
Like
U.S.
Gilbert
government,
Verdian?
the U.K. government, the IRS, the Fed.
So
the
is this
Treasury.
like XRP 2.0?
They don't focus on payments. So I guess you could say they're laying the groundwork for CBDC transfer, but they're not looking to move payments through their own. You know what? I guess you could say
the tokenomics are way better than XRP. XRP, like the circulating supply versus maximum supply for Quant is very attractive. I think it's like
Gotcha.
92 or 93%. So
I know
very
about
well
Blood's
distributed.
very bullish on XRP, aren't you, Blood?
Negative.
No.
Negative. No, I don't like coins and projects that are trying to help assist the legacy. So, you know, I come from the OG, you know, ethos in crypto, man. So there you go. So I don't like those types of coins, bro, and just never will, and I can't support that stuff. So it's all about freedom. It's about being your own bank, you know, and that's the ethos.
So you're against CBDCs?
It's not. I mean, I'm not gonna buy or use a coin that helps promote a CBDC. Hell no.
Interesting. I don't think anyone here is a big CBDC fan except Robin. He loves CBDCs.
I don't love CBDCs.
I like CBD. That helps with a lot of pain. But
my aches and pains.
So
All right.
I'm in the camp that CBDCs are coming whether you want them to or not.
They are.
That's
agree.
where I lie at.
I
So
agree.
you
I
might
agree.
as well like try to. I'm not saying use it by any means, but at least identify
CBD
if
you
you're
might not have a
gonna
choice.
make some money off of
CBDCs
it.
are the fentanyl of crypto.
You might not have a choice, bro.
I never heard that, but that makes sense. Fentanyl and crypto. Rocco, can we get a versus screen up in here? There it is. Yeah.
Blood versus Crib.
Yeah,
the
Bloods
wrong
and Crips
box.
over here,
I
man.
need my blood. I need my red rag. Where my red rag
Yeah,
at?
you guys are in the wrong box, man.
I'm wearing green today. The
Yeah,
markets are
the
up.
bill of the hat, bro. The bill of the hat. There you go. Just look up. There it is. There. you got to hide somewhere.
You guys are funny. All right. I got some breaking news I want to share with our lovely panel here. By the way, Crypto Blood, Crypto Blood's YouTube channel and Cryptostackers Pro YouTube channel. The links are in the description. Make sure to go subscribe, support their channels. These guests ask for nothing in return, so the least we can do is support them. Speaking of support, Gavin Wood is no longer going to be supporting Polkadot as the CEO. He is stepping down. So if you're not familiar with Gavin Wood, founder of Polkadot, also one of the founders of Ethereum, computer scientist, very, very smart guy. He has stepped down as the CEO of Parity Technologies, which is a firm that is responsible for building the Polkadot and Kusama blockchain ecosystems. Gavin will be a majority shareholder in the company still, but Bjorn Wagner, who is the chief commercial officer, will take over as the CEO. If you were, and I'll ask Forrest this question first. Forrest, if you're a project or a DApp that's building on Polkadot, does this scare you? Does this startle you? Are you if you're in the all right, we're about to launch on Polkadot, and then you hear this news, are you pivoting? Or are you saying, well, maybe we should take a look at Avalanche or Ethereum or whatever?
I'd say probably not, because I mean, at the end of the day, if you're about decentralized technology, the leadership really shouldn't matter. I mean, I get like the leadership from a development standpoint. You want somebody smart, directing and building the project. But at a certain point, like if your thesis is in decentralization, these products and these blockchains should be able to operate regardless of who's at the helm. And I know we're in that awkward stage of, where a lot of the stuff isn't fine-tuned yet. It's not fully adopted. It's not, we see projects that, the leader changes, or, a project could be steered in the wrong direction. The leaders and CEOs still have a lot of influence over the direction of the project. So I totally understand that. But theoretically, in a perfect world, we don't want this type of thing to affect how a blockchain runs or operates. So I see both sides of it. Obviously, Gavin Wood is a big name in the crypto space, and him being at the helm of Polkadot was a reason for a lot of people investing in it, and the reason for a lot of projects building on it. So,
did they say why?
I see it both ways.
No, I didn't hear why. We've had a lot of like CEOs and big names step down in this.
Yeah, Kraken's CEO.
Yeah.
When it comes to a crypto project, even though
when is Gary Gensler going to step down?
Even though Gary Gensler was in the chat earlier.
When is Sniffy Joe going to step down?
He's going to fall down.
Oh, he's going to fall down. You're correct. You're correct.
He's going down. So there you go.
You're correct.
Now, here's the thing. That a lot of people are just in such uncertainty as far as like what's safe to invest in, or tokens or projects to get into. Sometimes people just feel comfortable with a person that they can relate to, or that they can, hear about with the vision. Charles Hoskinson is one that comes to mind.
What would happen to Cardano? And this question was running through my head. What would happen to the Cardano ecosystem?
That would be a big blow.
If Charles Hoskinson stepped down.
See, but that's what I'm saying. Like, you have somebody that, one, can articulate the vision, and obviously has the credentials, respect, because they're the ones that essentially launched it, and you have that person giving you the direction. Now, what happens when somebody you're not familiar with steps up for Polkadot and they're like, "Hey, this is we're going to propose this." If it's something that doesn't at face value to 100% make sense, you might question the decision.
Right.
If Vitalik Buterin would have stepped down and then somebody else would have just stood up and be like, "Yeah, we're going to proof of stake," I think a lot of people would have been like, whoa, who's this guy? Why is he trying to move this? He's like, when Vitalik was here, we were proof of work. Now, so I just think that, yes, we do go to a decentralized format eventually with these layer ones. Not everything has to be decentralized, but in particular,
Charles Hoskinson's stepping down is akin to like Elon Musk stepping down from Tesla. That would be a big one.
Yeah.
I just think that a lot of marketing and easing the users kind of mentality. Hey, it's safe here. I'm the leader. And I know what I'm doing. I got this.
I'm with Blood. I'm kind of curious why. Right.
Yeah.
Usually when you see like just random out of the blue stepping down, some big coming in like a lawsuit. Like, look at what happened to Sailor, right? Steps down.
I talked about that in my show.
Dude gets sued. So
yeah,
I don't know. We'll see.
It could be some social media thing. You never know, man. Next thing you know, 3 weeks from now, you're hearing about
Gavin giving the wood to someone.
Oh, there it is.
Now, Forrest, this is when we usually let you go, my friend, but we have a couple more articles. We'd love for you to stick around, and I'm not sure if you have anything else planned for the next 15, 20 minutes.
Or if you got to go, we understand.
I can stick around.
Sweet. All right.
And then also, real quick, before we get into it, we do want to say for the reason Blood is in town, he's going to the Litecoin convention, the summit.
Oh, Litecoin summit.
So we actually have a few different personalities here in town. Did you come just to go to the summit, or did you come to hang out with us here?
You came to hang out with us,
Of course,
bro.
I came to hang out.
Oh, okay. Just making sure. All right.
That was a dumb question.
Litecoin's the right coin, but come on.
And then if you have watched our channel, we do have a segment called Crypto Street Interviews, which we did find one adamant person I wanted to pull up here. And yeah, check this guy out, man. This guy,
Oh, God.
he's
What's up, boys? I'm a Litecoin guy. Shout out Litecoin. Shout out my boy. Shout out my boy. Don't hide from it. It's coming. Litecoin forever. I see you. Can't remember the name of the guy that started it and then left, but I see you too. And good night and good luck.
Co-host my co-host hates Litecoin.
I'm still investing in Celsius.
Oh
What the
no, he
fuck?
didn't.
How did I
No,
miss
it's not
that?
too late to leave. It's not too late.
Wait. How long ago did we record this? Hold on.
Ripple XRP.
How long ago did we record that? I don't remember that guy saying that, or else I would have ripped him a new one. I'm still investing in Celsius. You know what's funny about that is I was at my father-in-law's house that Friday, and Forrest was on our show, and we were talking about the Cell token, and Forrest said, I don't know, man, something seems off. And then that Monday, they halted withdrawals. So, Forrest, start calling me Nostradamus now. Yeah, Litecoin, look, I know I talk crap. I don't know what they're doing. Like,
They're not doing anything. That's the whole point. It's just an OG coin. You know, pay homage. You know, just like Bitcoin.
all right. Sell us on Litecoin real quick. What we got?
I mean, I don't have anything to sell you on it. Like literally, it's just
they're not building anything.
They're not. I mean, you know, they got Mimblewimble. That's cool. But other than that, I think they have a PR issue. And you know,
I mean, at the end of the day, at the end of the day, it is
like Air Force One.
It's likened to Bitcoin, and it's cheaper to transact. And it's damn secure, man. You know, it hasn't.
It's
had
merged mine with Dogecoin. A lot of people don't know that.
Litecoin forever and doesn't know the founder's name. Like, come on, bro.
Because man, Charlie is he's a unique individual. He doesn't like the limelight. You know, very recluse.
Kind of like Charles.
Yeah.
That was a joke.
Okay. Yeah, no, Charles loves the limelight, right?
Yeah, well, that's.
I think Charles likes Litecoin. I don't know.
Yeah, okay. So no, I did not hit my knee. I got a freaking Charlie horse in my calf right now, or I got a cramp in my hamstring right now. I'm like barely keeping myself together here. All right, let's talk about some XRP news. So Ripple finally obtains the documents of former SCC official William. The email messages and documents from within the Securities and Exchange Commission have been turned over to Ripple. Documents revolve around William Hinman's speech delivered in 2018, declaring that Ethereum, like Bitcoin, was sufficiently decentralized and thus not subject to federal securities. Goes on to say, this is a quote from Brad Garlinghouse, which is the CEO of Ripple Labs. The SEC's pursuit of a policy objective isn't about a faithful allegiance to the law. It's about power.
What's wrong with your left shoulder over there, bro?
Hey man,
I have
a newfound respect for Dave.
Bro, I got a cramp in my hamstring right now. Have you ever had a cramp in your hamstring, bro?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I can't.
It's the desk. You ain't got enough leg room down there,
zero
bro.
leg room down here. So if you see me wondering why I'm looking all weird, it's because of that. But I'm keeping myself together. All right. So he said, it's not about the allegiance to law. It's about power. There was no regard for those people that this approach has harmed. We all should be outraged. The SEC has clearly forgotten that the government works for the people. And finally, Ripple's attorneys also expect to be able to hear from Hinman directly, having won the opportunity to depose the former SEC director last year. Robin, I'm sending it to you first so I can stretch my leg out. Are you surprised? Now, when we talked about this news, right, we said Judge Torres came out and said, all right, SEC, you try to rebuke this whole thing. You got to give up these documents. And we all thought and we knew the way the law works, the SCC can like string them along for another 2 to 3 months without releasing the documents, and they release them in less than a month. A, does that surprise you? And B, what are your thoughts on the overall situation?
No, it doesn't surprise me. I'm surprised that Ripple's attorneys expect to hear from Hinman directly. What? Like, what is he gonna take the stand? I know they're not in like. Okay, I don't know what that'll look like, but that's the first time I've heard that here in this room. So if Hinman comes out and is in support of the way that the ICO was released for Ripple Labs, you know, here's the thing, the whole reason, in case, just to give you a little backstory here, the whole reason that Ethereum and Ripple / XRP is,
I'm gonna stand up too.
Why these two are these guys in here, look at they're all standing up right here.
Get that view.
I feel like we're about to do like a Pledge of Allegiance right now. Like
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the crypto of America.
But no, the ICO release from Ripple Lab is very likened to the Ethereum release when it came to their Ethereum tokens, and so that's where they're drawing comparison. Very similar time frame, very similar ICO, and so if both of them are sufficiently decentralized, which that's the main argument being made. If they're both sufficiently decentralized, you have the man in charge at the time of the SCC saying, "Hey, Ethereum's green light. They're a commodity, or the ICO is not deemed a security." Then the same should hold true for Ethereum or for Ripple. And so you're going to hear these words from him directly, is from what it sounds like to me.
But my question is, from what I understand, Rob, these Hinman files or emails can't even be used in the actual court case. It's like, I forgot what they said, but it's not going to be able to be used as evidence in the case, from my understanding.
They're supposed to be able to read them. Now, I'm not an expert on this case, but they were supposed to be reading the emails soon. Now I'm not sure if they're reading them in front of court, or I don't know what that looks like, or if the lawyers are going to be able to argue, each individual, put it up as evidence and then go through and
But here, Bob, read the last read the last part of it right there. Ripple's attorneys.
All right. So Ripple's that's I said that. That was the whole thing. My whole premise, and we lost David. All right. Anyways, yeah. So that's what what we were talking about. So they expect Hinman to talk. What is your? I don't know how knowledgeable you are on the court case for us, but what's your initial thoughts? Basically, the Hinman emails are green light to be used in the court case. The former SEC chair, Mr. Hinman, is now expected, per Ripple Labs attorney, to discuss, the whole case at the time that he was in a seating in SEC. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not a lawyer, and I don't know a lot about court proceedings. But you'd think if he's the guy that said Ethereum was sufficiently decentralized, right?
Yeah, he called it a commodity. So he was the one that kind of came out.
So if you've got Ripple, who is operating under this guy's opinions, and thinks that we're not a security because the head of the SEC thinks that that Ethereum's sufficiently decentralized, and we're kind of copying Ethereum here. We're good. We're in the clear. Why would XRP ever have reason to believe that they are a security? If that was the precedent that and the opinions that were set forth by the head of the SEC at the time. So, look, I mean, I'm not an expert here, but my opinion is that there needs to be clear precedent set And I'm not a big fan of setting precedent through a case like this where there isn't any prior precedent set. I would rather see a very clear regulation, laws around what defines a security within the context of cryptocurrency, what defines decentralization, right? All they have is the Howey test, which I don't even believe is like, I think it's kind of, fuzzy as far as what that stands for as precedent. I would like them to say, okay, moving forward, so all of the projects launching right now, can operate within the rules that they want to set forth, right? So what defines decentralization? Is it 51% of nodes running, in a certain country? Is it what exactly? Tell us so that everyone that's launching a project right now can move forward without having to sweat the SEC coming after them in 5 years. It's crazy. They need. I'm not saying we need regulation. I'm saying we need a clear definition of decentralization, a clear definition of a security within the context of crypto, so that people can start operating without worrying about this in the future.
I like what you're saying there. I think I'm 100% aboard with that. I think we need a clear line in the sand on when a project becomes, or maybe a checklist. In the same way that they have the Howey test, hey, if it's not one of these 4 parameters, then it is not a security. I think that a checklist should be put into place for cryptocurrencies to say, hey, you know what? When Bitcoin came out, it was likened to a security. When Ethereum first came out, it was likened to a security. But at some point, through utility and decentralization, it was no longer a security and became a commodity. And so we're in an interesting realm now. And so I think clarity on when the transition happens, I think is what I would like to see. Blood, what do you think about perhaps just the overall thoughts on the court case? Or, because I think even if you don't like XRP, you understand the ramifications of this court case. It's for the crypto. This is larger than Ripple.
Yeah, for sure. And they're going to lose.
The Ripple?
I think they're going to lose.
Yeah.
Because the reason why is because if they allow them, and I say allow, that's the operative word there. If they allow them to win, then the SEC has to backtrack on all of these other cases that they've close judgment on, come to judgment on, and it's a mess at that point, in my opinion. So the least path of resistance, Rob, is a win for the SEC. That's just literally my bird's view of the situation. Yes, it would be an awesome thing for crypto if they allowed Ripple to win, but I just don't see that happening, man. I really don't.
Yeah, I mean, it's a branch of the U.S. government litigating a court case in another branch of the U.S. government. Obviously, I'm sure some people know other people there. So I've always been in the camp that, no matter how good it looks, man, it could be you sit here and watch an entire boxing match, 12 rounds, and be like, and every analyst is like, yeah, blah, 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 this guy or this corner, they won. All the cards say they won, and then they read off the.
It doesn't mean it doesn't mean the end of Ripple. Ripple, the company, will continue on. Yeah. I think they'll pay a fine and continue on with their endeavors within the blockchain space. But I don't know, man. I think the XRP token might be doomed in that particular case. And they can't they run the case over again?
They can
file an appeal or something
Ripple,
like that?
If Ripple Labs were to win, actually both sides can appeal, yeah, and I'm sure they will. Yeah, it's kind of standard procedure, but
right. So we won't even have an answer when the answer comes.
Well, the answer will come, but then the answer can change.
Yeah, exactly.
What about double jeopardy?
Yeah. Cool. All right, well, Forrest, we'll let you go. We're gonna wrap it up here, but I think everybody we've had on the show has been here to the studio now, except for you. So maybe you come out here.
You throwing shade at Forrest?
Nah. We want to hang out with Forrest.
Better run, Forrest. Run, Forrest. Run.
That's like the hip hop version of it. Run, Forrest. No. All right. Anyways, Forrest, I know you can't see me on camera, but I cannot sit down or else I will literally be in the worst excruciating pain. Thank you so much for joining us today, like you do every Friday. Forrest, we're going to let you go, and we look forward to seeing what coin you are going to highlight for us on Monday. So thank you again, my friend.
Do you want to take over the standing desk, David?
Nah. Should I come stand next to you?
Yeah, I'll sit over there.
Okay.
Oh, he doesn't want to stand next.
No, I'm good. I like being off camera. This is kind of nice.
Cool.
So, Forrest, thanks again. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you Monday, my friend. Take care.
Bye.
Thanks, Forrest. All right, man.
Rob, we got a couple super chats, big ones.
Big
Bro,
ones.
man, yeah, we had
Blood brings the money in, baby.
That's right.
Yeah, you feel me?
We don't got to split it with you, do we?
Nah.
All right, my dude. We already got to split it with YouTube, so.
Nah.
All right, so we got Jimmy dropping back-to-back super chats. He dropped a 100 piece right off the
Hundo.
Dang, and then $28 right afterwards as well. So Jimmy, we love and appreciate you, man. Absolutely. So Blood, why don't you tell us what you doing here this weekend? You hanging out with us as well, or you what's going on?
Yeah, what you guys got up?
I don't know. We're gonna go to Litecoin Summit as well after here.
Okay.
Maybe film some stuff on location, and then
I got money. What is it?
you gambling out here? You
Nah, not really. I don't really.
Let's
gamble.
go to Cigar Bar.
Yeah, no, we can do that.
All right. Monte Cristo Cigar Bar, Caesar's Palace.
Money. Was it Money 2020 or something conference? I
That's
got
right,
tickets
baby.
to that.
Are you going?
No, can't even go. $4,000 tickets, can't even go.
Come on,
I'll be
bro.
out.
Sin
I can
City,
give-
we got you, bro.
I can give
Media passes, my dude.
You guys, you guys are.
Yeah,
of course.
man,
What
we
am I
media,
thinking?
bro.
What? What am I thinking?
Our normal way in is we go right to the front desk. Like, yeah, our assistant was supposed to we can contact. I don't know.
Why
She got-
you
she
give?
got-
You
she got a
literally just
confirmation
put us
email.
on blast.
Yeah, you can't.
Why
be
would
giving
you
away
put
the
us
secret
on
sauce,
blast?
man? No, but hanging with Rice, hanging with Tom, hanging with Adam from Viral Nation. Few of my actually had a good time with Adam last night.
Okay.
So yeah. Nah,
Well,
just
we're
hanging out,
actually
man.
we are as soon as we're done with the show, we are leaving and going to the summit.
You
Yep.
should go to the doctor.
Dude, that was bad. And I got no room to move my leg, man. That was terrible, bro. My God. Anyways, that'll before we sign off, Blood, do you why don't you take a couple minutes, tell our viewers what they can expect when they come over to your channel, and maybe if you want to anything else that kind of excites you about crypto while you got in the space, just let
Yeah,
people know.
Yeah, CBTV, come over there, check me out. I usually do a daily show called My Two Satoshis, just crypto news, in a fun way like you guys do. Don't keep, not so uptight and with the suit jacket on, because suits are the devil, according to Ben.
That's right.
Okay, we don't wear suits around here. And then also on the weekends, I'll do Off the Chain, and that's kind of a live show with my friends around the block, and we just have a lot of fun. Interviews as well. I've interviewed some very influential people in finance and blockchain. I've had Brock Pierce on a few times. I've even interviewed Robert Kiyosaki.
Oh yeah,
I've interviewed a few heavy hitters, man. So I love doing those interviews. I actually have one coming up. You guys should watch with Ted Seidel, and he is the guy going after all of these pensions around the country. Basically whistleblowing. Making them exposing their shortfalls, right? With the backdoor deals they've done with Wall Street and stuff. So I've had him on maybe 4 or 5 times. He is an excellent guy. He's working on the Ohio State Pension Fund now. And he's giving me an update on that. But it kind of harkens back to what Forrest talked about as far as bonds and the drop. We're in serious trouble here in America. And I think we're going to have a UK moment very soon. Very soon.
That's it's a little scary, man. And sitting there and stressing out about it, and I'll just tell you, because naturally I get anxiety. When I think too much, you get into this rabbit hole. You're like, oh my God, well, what if this happens and this happens? But just remember, if it's out of your control, no matter how much you stress and worry about it, not gonna happen. So
I do want to say that your boy does have a suit though. Don't even play around me. I can button it up too, right here.
Hold on,
Yeah,
bro. This dude shows up to CNFT dressed like he's going to prom. What you
That's
doing,
church.
dog?
That's church right there, big fella.
He had the vest on, bro.
He got the vest. That's the church vest right there. That's Easter. That's Easter.
The shoes, the socks, No hat. I'm like, who is this guy? No, that,
And
that was a lot of fun.
usually Sam has
Right.
the suit on, and he took it off and put it on Rob.
For real, dude. No, we had a really good
That's
time.
what's
though.
up.
But Blood, thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
You know, a lot of people come through Vegas, and so we want to be the spot.
Hold on.
where
Who did this?
who did what? Oh, that shit's hilarious, bro. Go full screen. Go full screen.
Oh my God,
I didn't even know that was there.
that's funny.
That's someone from I think from Lifers community that did that. Yeah. So that's I look terrible bald. Even though I look more Armenian when I'm bald. Yeah. But anyways, that'll do it for the show today. Huge shout out to Forrest. Huge shout out to Crypto Blood for joining us in studio. Guys, go check out our socials. We're on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. Go join our community run Discord. But most importantly, go subscribe to Crypto Blood CBTV. The link is in the description. Go subscribe to Cryptostackers Pro. The link is in the description.
And go subscribe to some CBD oil on for your leg.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah. CBDC, PCP. All right, Rocco.
No PCP, please. No PCP.
Friends, family. Friends of family and family of friends. I hate standing at this desk. Thank you so much for joining us and ending your week with us here at Sin City Crypto. To all the new people in the chat, welcome to the greatest cryptocurrency community in all of Crypto YouTube. We love you guys. Have a great weekend. We will see you on Monday
We're
at 10.
Ben's show live here.
That's
Monday
right.
as
You'll
well,
get
so.
double Sin City Crypto. We'll be probably be on Ben's show at 8:30 a.m. Pacific time, and then our regular show at 10:30 a.m. Pacific time. Make sure to come join us. Until then, we love you guys. See you later. Peace. How do you stand the whole time?
Your posture, man.
I don't know how you got them long legs, bro.
Fucking leg just seized up, bro. Like I'm like over here, like trying to like you know, like his way, like lengthen it that way, and I'm like running into his leg, and then I try to scoot back, and then I gotta read this fucking article. Oh, God, dude. And I couldn't sit down. I had to leave. Like there was no way.
That's crazy, man.
Mute the mics before we say something stupid.